Hello guys, welcome back to another shaving video. I'm your host Brian. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys are having a good week so far. I am going to be using for my shaving night a sentimental favorite of mine. It's by Crown King Shaving, Sacre Bleu. Sacre Bleu, am I saying it right? But anyway, it's a take on the Aqua Velva classic blue scent. So I'm going to be using this. And man, it smells pretty close to that classic Aqua Velva ice blue scent. So when I say sentimental, this is what my father used to use growing up. His favorite aftershave was Aqua Velva ice blue. So I remember him using this all the time in the morning when he used to get ready in the morning for work. This is what I would smell around the house. So I'm using this soap, and I'm going to be using, for my razor, will be the Gillette Slim Adjustable Razor, which is a nice adjustable razor, vintage razor. This is a turn to open, and it's set on 3 for me, so I'll be using a setting of 3 tonight. And for my blade, I'm going to be using my Gillette Wilkinson sword. This is a version from India, so these are made in India, I believe. And I'm going to be using this blade. This will be the blade will be the first use on the razor. And for brush, I'm going to be using my, this is, I don't know if you can see that, it's my Soft Photo Wet Shavers Amack GameChanger knot synthetic brush. So it's got a very good, nice weight to it. Very, very nice knot. This is one of my favorite synthetic knots to use for shaving. So let me go ahead and wash my face, go ahead and soap up, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back for my first face lather. Just got done soaping up loading the brush with the Crown King soap. And it's definitely a soft soap, so it's not, it doesn't take too much time to really load on your brush. And man, this does smell just like Aqua Blue, Aqua Velva Ice Blue. What do I have to say? Alright, so I hope everybody's having a good week so far, a good weekend. Hope everybody's enjoying their shaves. Alright, look at that nice lather. So one thing about Crown King and Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements is definitely have a good, their soaps make a tremendous amount of lather. Very thick lather. As you can tell right there, wow, this is really thick lather. Alright, so let me go ahead and use the Gillette Slim on the first pass on number 3. This will be with the grain. Alright. So this is my first time using this blade. Actually, the first use of this blade. This is one of the first blades I actually purchased when I first got into wet shaving. And I didn't like the blade at all. I hated this blade. But I purchased 100 of these blades, so I had to keep, so periodically I pull it out and use it. But I wasn't getting good shaves at all with this blade. It was just one of those blades where, it almost scared me back to going back to cartridge razor shaving, because that's how bad this blade was when I first used it. I think it had more to do with technique and everything, and shave preparation more than the blade, but alright. And this is the one that's made in India. I love the Wilkinson sword blades that are made in Europe. When I say they're made, the black ones are made in England, I presume. But those are my favorite blades to use. One of my favorite blades to use for shaving, for sure. Definitely better than this blade is, but after I got more used to using a safety razor and used to having better technique, this blade is actually not too bad. So I basically came back to revisit this blade and use it again. So I found out it's not really a bad blade to use. So that's really just more of a testament to my experience at the time when I was getting into wet shaving with the safety razor. Alright guys, that's the first pass. So far pretty smooth. Let me go ahead and rinse and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back for my second pass. My second face lather. And the first pass was superb, very nice. And this soap is amazing. I don't have too many Crown King soaps or too many Phoenix Artisan Accoutrement soaps, but I really do love the ones I have. I think I have at least 3 or 4 of these soaps. But great soaps, great scents, and their aftershaves last a long time in scent strength. So you're actually buying like a cologne when you buy their aftershave. And the slickness of this soap is excellent, as well as the lather. Alright, that should be good for a second pass. So I'm going to be going across the grain. And I love this Gillette slim adjustable with this Wilkinson sword blade. It's a very good combination. So hope everybody's having a good week so far. Having a good weekend. One of the things I did in the last few days, I went down to Ellington, Florida. I'm a big Civil War history buff. I have like a lot of interest in that kind of stuff. So I went down to Ellington, Florida, and they have a place called the Gamble Plantation State Park, which is really it consists of the Gamble Mansion, which is the oldest, I want to say the only antebellum mansion in South Florida that's still standing back from that time period from the 1800s. And it's one of those, I did a video on it, so definitely go check it out. It's my last video I did on my channel, so it was a very interesting visit to that park, and it included a live tour of the building, also the mansion. So anyway, the history about this place is pretty cool. The mansion, this gentleman named Robert Gamble, he was a major. This is back before the Civil War, I believe. Back when our government was a brand new government, when the country was brand new after the Revolutionary War. You know, they were trying to promote people to, you know, to settle on, you know, land all through United States and Florida, different states. But anyway, they had a big Indian problem in Florida, you know, at the time. They had like a lot of Indians that were, you know, had Indian wars in Florida, so they had a hard time getting people to settle down here in Florida. So what they did was, you know, it was a brand new country. They didn't have the militia to deal with the Indians. So what they would do is they worked out a deal where they would offer anybody land up to 160 acres if they would stay there 5 years. I mean, they would claim the land. If they stayed for 5 years, they're gonna have the land. So this gentleman I want to say he was from Tallahassee, Florida. So he came down, looked around, you know, Ellington, which is like in Sarasota, looked down that area, which was pretty remote. There was hardly anything down there. Found this piece of property that was right next to the Manatee River, which went into the Gulf of Mexico, and he decided to start a plantation. So keep in mind, they were trying to settle this land, and our government was brand new. They didn't have, like I said, they didn't have the militia to deal with the Indian problem. So their thinking was, you know, if they had this kind of this settlement act, I can't remember the name of the settlement, but it was an act. It was like a legislation where they were hoping that if enough people settled in Florida, you know, especially, you know, this guy, I want to say he was a major, so he was in the military, and those guys, you know, most everybody back then had guns, so if they had enough of these people settle in Florida, they were hoping that since they were armed, that they would form their own militia so they can deal with the Indian problem. So that's their way of thinking back then. So this gentleman went down to Sarasota, Ellington, claimed his land. He ended up, you know, he claimed 160 acres, but he ended up getting a lot more. He ended up getting like 3,500 acres. I'm not sure if he purchased more or it was given to him, but he had like a sugar plantation for, you know, about 6 years or so. He built this house, this big mansion. You know, he hired a bunch of craftsmen. At the time, he hired slaves because it was during right before the Civil War. So at that time, he had slaves that he hired to run his plantation. So anyway, did well for a few years. He was only there for 6 years. He started building this house. To make a long story short, the hurricanes were bad back then, so he lost a lot of damage from the hurricanes to his crops and everything, and also the sugar industry. They were at the time. He did well for a couple, 2-3 years, but then they were getting some competition from Cuba. I want to say Cuba, some of the other places down south, like in Brazil and some of the other countries. So the sugar industry was fickle, so he wasn't making much money. So he ended up selling it. But to make a long story short, a couple other people changed hands, and the Civil War, where that comes in, the Civil War history is, at the end of the Civil War, one of the guys, I can't think of his first name, but his last name was Benjamin. He was a Secretary of State for the Confederacy. He was on the run from the government, so he was scared he was going to be on trial for treason. So they were looking for all the cabinet members from the Confederacy. Actually, after the end of the war, all the Union, basically our government was looking for all these cabinet members, and they were just going to try him for treason and everything. So what they did was, you know, he was one of the guys on the run, so he came down to Florida and hid there at the Gamble Mansion for a few days, and he had some help there. I think one of the owners after Gamble was a blockade runner for the Confederacy, so he kind of hid him there for a few days, and eventually what happened was, you know, he escaped. A couple other guys, including the owner of the building, I must say, the blockade owner of the mansion at that time, took him away, put him on a boat to the Bahamas, and eventually he went back to England and became a barrister. So it's in my video. You have to definitely see that video. But Other than that, shave was very nice. Second pass. Got a little bit of nick on my ear right here. I don't know if you can see that, but I think I was kind of like talking a little bit, not really paying attention. But let me go ahead and rinse, guys. I'll be right back. All right, guys, back to my my third pass. My third face lather. And the soap is excellent, like I mentioned the last two times when I loaded on my face. So scent strength on this soap is probably about a middle of the road, about 5, or I would say after you load it up on your brush and face lather, it's about a 5. Not very strong, but it's got a very soft powdery scent. It's got definitely the ice blue Aqua Velva scent, but just a little bit more powdery in my opinion. I think Douglas Smythe really nailed this scent just right. Like I said, this is my dad's favorite aftershave. I don't think I remember my dad wearing any cologne. This is basically was his cologne. Ice blue Aqua Velva. So my father passed away a couple years ago, and periodically I pull this out and use it just to remember him by. So, all right, guys, that's nice face lather there. Let me go ahead and do that third pass against the grain. So, like I was saying, I'm a big Civil War. I love Civil War history, especially places I can find it in Florida. I'll go check out, maybe do a video or so about it. If you guys are interested more about that Gamble plantation, definitely check out my video. I did a video before this shave video, I believe, a few days ago. And also you can go online and read about it. I think Wikipedia tells a little more history about the behind that property. All right, so hope you guys are enjoying your shaves. I see like a lot of people using Giillettes nowadays. In some of the videos, straight, switching from safety razors to Giillettes. Shavettes, and also straights occasionally. I use a straight razor probably one time only, and I end up slicing my face up. So I'm too scared. I'm kind of a little bit of a chicken to go back to it, but I would like to try it again eventually. I do have a nice sharp beginning razor, a gold dollar I have still somewhere in my shave den. Nicely honed up, ready to go again. So I don't have a lot. I have a little bit of experience with Indian blades. Blades from India. I don't particularly like them too much. I had some bad blades from India I tried before that just tore my face up. I think I used one called the Topaz, one called the Laser double-edged blade. There is one blade I used from India. I think it was called the Gillette 7 o'clock, the black super platinum. Came in the black box. I know they have the yellow one that's pretty common. Everybody likes. There's a black one also that comes in black packaging. That one gave me a good shave. Very nice blade, very smooth blade. So my favorite blade from India would probably be, if I had a favorite, would probably be the Wilkinson sword, this and that black 7 o'clock platinum blade. haven't tried the Super Max blades yet, but I know that I heard they're made in India too. So it's been nice here in Florida. It's been getting down to 75 degrees, so it's been a little bit nicer, not quite so hot. Alright guys, let me go ahead and rinse my face and be back for the post shave. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back, and I'm going to be using this for my post shave. The Thayer's Witch Hazel with the lavender. So since I cut my face a little bit right here, a couple other places right there, I'm going to use this for the healing properties and also for the fine post shave it provides. Oh, very nice, very nice. And sometimes I just use this for a post shave, or aftershave by itself. That's how good the stuff is. And I'm gonna follow it up with my Aqua Velva Ice Blue Classic Aftershave. I got a little bit left in this bottle, so I'm gonna use this right here. Oh man, it brings back a lot of memories. Nice stuff. And very, very nice stuff. Nostalgic stuff here. Oh man, I'm gonna use another splash because that's how good this stuff is. I remember every morning my dad used to put this on before church or before work. He was in the army, so I remember he used to always put this on before he went to his civilian job in the army after he got discharged, and while I was in the army also. Alright guys, so recap. I used my Crown King Sacre Bleu shaving soap, which Douglas Smythe nailed the scent. It smells just like the Ice Blue Classic by Aqua Velva. Perfect soap for that. Use my Gillette Slim Adjustable Razor on a setting of 3. You see that? So nice razor. I actually like this a little bit better than the Gillette Fat Boy because of the longer handle. Seems like a little bit more to grab onto, but it's very nicely adjustable razor. And you can find these on eBay. I mean, they're still around. I think I got this for like $20 off eBay in great condition. I mean, it's solid brass razor, so it'll last you forever. But it's got the original finish on there. I just took it when I got it sent to me. I just took it apart. I opened everything up. Just brushed it with the scrubbing bubbles. Soaked it overnight with some disinfectant, and I also just used a little bit of moss, this metal polish on it. Brought out the luster in it because it was a little bit grimy when I first got it, but man, it came out really nice. So if you can find one of these razors, these are great adjustable razors to have, and I think these are more common than the Fat Boys. And let me just show you a comparison real quick. Let me just show you what my Fat Boy looks like compared to the Slim Adjustable Razor. So definitely got a little bit longer handle, and I just like the way the handle feels, a little bit longer and more thinner. And both very fine razors, by the way. The Fat Boy's a little bit more hard to find than this razor is. So I use this razor. I use my Gillette Wilkinson sword blade, and pretty good blade. I find that if you use it about 3 times, that's a limit on this blade. 3 times and then toss it out, because after that it starts tugging your face and you start getting a little bit of cuts in your face and everything like that. So not a bad blade for about 2 or 3 good shaves. And I use my Soft-Footed Wet Shavers Amack synthetic black GameChanger knot brush. Excellent brush, excellent synthetic knots. I think this knot is pretty, I want to say it's common. You can find this knot in a lot of different places. It's got like pretty good backbone, very soft but light, nice backbone. So it's almost close to being kind of like close to if you had to pick a synthetic knot close to a bore knot, this would probably be it. Because it's kind of a little stiff, but you know, softly stiff, as I want to say, with a little bit of backbone. Use this. Use my Thayer's Aftershave Witch Hazel with the lavender, and I use my Aqua Velva Ice Blue Classic Aftershave. So that's my shave, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have some great shaves. Have a good week, and definitely check out my video from my visit to the Gamble Mansion Plantation State Park if you can, from the last video I just did. And I'll do some more shaving videos, some more adventure videos. And please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And I will see you guys later. Have a good weekend. Take care.